The MotoGP season in 2024 left us with a lot of storylines to follow in 2025. I'm here to get you up to speed on what's going on for MotoGP in 2025 and follow some of the storylines that I'm most excited about. So without further ado, let me get into one of my favorite updates, and that is that we are going to Balaton Park in Hungary this year, or Balaton Park for us that are not Hungarian. That race is in August and I'm excited about that because, as you know, I'm Romanian and Hungary is right next to Romania, so that means we're inching our way closer to Eastern Europe. And maybe one day Romania will have its circuit on point and we can also have a race there. But for now, I'm not gonna lie, vacation to Balaton Park in August sounds not bad. So there's 22 rounds this year, the first one starting in Thailand on March 2nd, that's a Sunday. It's coming up fast. And there are talks that the race might be shortened there because the temperatures are already nearing the 40s Celsius. So the riders are kind of boiling out there and it might be dangerous to ride for that long. So we'll see if the race actually gets shortened by a couple laps. The other news following us in from 2024 is that the world champ Jorge Martin will likely not be racing in Thailand because of an injury. He underwent extensive surgery and is now healing and probably won't be race ready come Sunday. The 2024 title fight was super interesting because in the end it only was a 10-point difference between Jorge and Pecco, and we all know that Marc Marquez now joined the Ducati factory team along with Pecco, and they surveyed the riders to see who each rider thinks would win between Pecco and Marquez, and it was a 12-10 vote for Marquez. Personally, I feel like Marquez is also going to win because he has the biggest drive and will to succeed, fight or die trying, that I've ever seen in a racer. Like Max Verstappen, what? Nah. Move out of the way, Marc Marquez is here. Like the amount of crap that Marc Marquez has gone through and to still find the will to want to win is incredible.
You saw this. Digo, ¿has visto esto? Digo, esto no es por placer. Digo, esto es para ganar.
I really admire him for that, and I think that he might win just based on his personality alone, because his consciousness is not going to let him get on the best bike in MotoGP and not win. In an interview, Gigi from Ducati was saying that it's always a race between the best riders trying to find the best bikes and vice versa, the best bikes trying to find the best riders, and Marc Marquez is the best rider on the best bike. It goes without saying that 2025 is going to see a lot of red on the grid. It's going to be a lot about Ducati. One of the major updates coming in for 2025 is that Ducati's going to use the 2024 engines because the 2025 engines kind of suck, or at least they're not as well optimized as the 2024 engine. But because there's an engine freeze coming in 2026 because of the 2027 regulations that will take place, whatever engines the motorcycle manufacturers decide to use for the 2025 seasons is the same ones that they have to use for the 2026 season, I believe. So that means Ducati is going to be stuck with 2024 engines in 2026. So of course, like, the riders and Gigi were interviewed about this, and Gigi seemed pretty confident that he didn't need to make any major changes to the engines. He was kind of really confident in the fact that Ducati's so far ahead of the other manufacturers, they'll probably be okay not doing anything to the engine for 2 years. Plus the fact that he has Pecco and Marc Marquez, I think he's feeling pretty confident and I can't really blame him. But KTM Racing's team manager or CEO was basically saying it's going to be everybody against Ducati for the 2025 season, and I kind of see that. Aprilia's racing director pretty much echoed his sentiment, and he said that Ducati's feeling cocky and that they're going to use this to get ahead, and that they also feel great because they have two really good riders. I think the reason Ducati is sticking with their 2024 bikes and the reason that other riders have said they're likely going with the 2024 engine is that it's just more ironed out than the 2025 engine. It's more reliable. And if you want reliable parts on your motorcycle, then I recommend you check out today's sponsor, Yuasa Batteries. The YTZ10S is the battery that I've had in my MT-07 since 2019. The original battery, and now after 6 years of reliable use, it's finally time to change it. In the past on my bikes, I've had both lithium and AGM batteries, and I can say that AGM batteries are both easier to take care of and more reliable. They are a little bit heavier than lithium, but hey, at least it won't catch on fire spontaneously. An AGM battery stands for absorbed glass mats, so that means you don't have to worry about it spilling, like a traditional battery that you would have to fill. If you're interested in learning more about battery maintenance tips, I actually have a whole video where I talk to my dad, who's a battery engineer. He tests batteries for a living, and he explained to me what proper motorcycle battery maintenance looks like and why you might want to choose AGM over lithium. Thank you for educating us on motorcycle batteries today.
I don't know if it's gonna get anybody's any kind of help, but I'm really glad it helps anybody.
Yeah,
one person.
Yeah, exactly. Even one person that got something out of this is good. If you want to check out that conversation, I'll link it in the description and in the cards of this video. Now let's get back to MotoGP. Aprilia Factory has Jorge Martin, the current world champ, and they have my favorite rider, Marco Bezzecchi. That's him in the back. Personally, I'm always going to be watching Bezzecchi because he was Valentino Rossi's student, and honestly, he kind of looks like a young Valentino Rossi, even down to the ear piercings, so it's really nostalgic just to see Bezzecchi out there. I think in terms of Bezzecchi's personality, he is the type of rider that will always own up to his mistakes, and he's super humble. In a recent interview I was watching of him, when he was talking about his performance in one of the tests, he was like, there's nothing wrong with the Aprilia bike, I love it, it's really good, I think it was my own mistakes. And I was just like, I can't believe you didn't blame it on the bike, because a lot of riders will blame it on the bike, but Marc owns up to his shortcomings. He's super humble about everything he does, so I will be watching him as usual because I really like the guy as a person. So everyone's kind of holding Marc Marquez, Pecco, and Jorge Martin for the title contenders in 2025, but I think there's an underdog. Pedro Acosta might rise up like a phoenix out of the ashes and blow us all out of the water. Pedro Acosta was the rookie in 2024, and this man has no filter, and he's really funny, which is kind of what makes me love him. Coming into his rookie season, he said that he hates that people compare him to Marc Marquez because it feels like his girlfriend comparing him to one of her exes. I guess I can't blame him, but also he did come 6th in the championship in his rookie season, so the comparisons to Marc Marquez maybe aren't all that unwarranted. But yeah, considering how good he had it in his rookie season and the fact that he's now with KTM Factory and has a lot more resources at his disposal, I think Pedro Acosta can actually win the 2025 championship. Maybe get second. In an interesting turn of events, Prima Pramac Ducati has left Ducati to join Yamaha, or Yamaha acquired them. I'm not exactly sure how that went down behind the scenes, but Yamaha now has one of the best teams on the grid. So who knows, maybe Yamaha can actually be competitive in 2025. I used to cheer so hard for Rossi when he was at Yamaha, so part of me really wants to see them back on top, even though they don't really have any of my favorite riders currently. But I do feel myself kind of cheering for anybody other than Ducati as well, because I want these other manufacturers to catch up, to innovate, to improve. And the entire 2024 season has been just a lot of Ducati, so I feel like it's time. Okay, we have a fresh new face, Ai Ogura, who is hilarious in the opening credits of MotoGP. He looks so unbothered. Like, you cannot say anything that will get to this man's head. He's too chill for you. Seriously, he looks like one of the most relaxed, level-headed, and composed riders I've ever seen. Nothing will get this man down. He's the rookie this year coming in for Trackhouse and Aprilia, and apparently he was actually doing pretty good in testing, and he was pretty fast. So maybe we'll see Ai Ogura in the top 10 as well. All right, in terms of Honda, they have Joan Mir, Luca Marini, and Johan Zarco. And he said that the progress at Honda has been slow. Definitely, they have been making progress, but not enough to keep up with the rest of the manufacturers. He was asked if he wants to leave, but he said that he would rather stay with Honda because he's already been with them for 2 years, and if he switched teams now, it would be like starting from scratch, so he feels like he has a better chance he stays with Honda. Good luck to Johan Mir. I don't even know what to say about Honda. I think out of all the manufacturers that are still in MotoGP, they scored the least amount of points in 2024. Like, it was pretty pitiful. Good luck, Honda. I'm rooting for you. You're gonna need it. I'm really curious to see if Honda will stick around for 2027 when all the new regulations hit. And I'm also curious to see if Suzuki ever plans on making a comeback to MotoGP once the new regulations hit in 2027. Going back to KTM Factory, they acquired Pedro Acosta, the rookie rider for 2024, great rider, and then they decided that they were gonna go bankrupt, and there was some strings being pulled behind the scenes, and now somehow they only owe 30% of their debt, which amounts to like 500 something million euros. I believe their total debt that they owed before was something closer to 2.9 billion euros. So I hope this 70% reduction in their debt repayment helps them actually stay in MotoGP and still be competitive. I want to know what storylines you guys are following for 2025 in MotoGP, and I want to know who you think is going to win. Are you Team Marquez like me or Team someone else? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.